Joining us now, he's closing. Vince Haley, he is a candidate for State Senate District 12. He's in a Republican primary. The nominee is going to be decided in a primary on June 9th. I've got this in a dead heat three-way race right now, and Vince Haley right there, and he is joining us now live. Vince, go to Breitbart.com. You did an op-ed today that they were able to put out there. Can you share with our audience what you had to say?
Sure. The central message of my campaign is that I think that we in Virginia can be much more aggressive in pushing back on the federal government when it overreaches. And, of course, it's overreaching in so many aspects of our lives. People already get it. They can fill in the blank themselves. They know that in a new way, the federal government is overriding, over-involving, as one woman put it, in so many aspects of our lives. I mean, we have been forgotten, if you will, the state legislatures as primary defenders of liberty in sort of deference to federal authority. But now federal authority, not just the executive branch, not just the Congress, not just the Supreme Court, but also all these federal agencies are overstepping their bounds. And unless the states punch back, soon state legislative races will really be meaningless because all the decisions will be made from the federal government. The EPA is doing many, many things that are costly upon the states, but the one that is the craziest is something that they're trying right now to coerce the states. They're trying to coerce the states into imposing on themselves these limitations on our emissions. And what it would mean for Virginia is that we would basically have to get rid of all our low-cost power. And Dominion estimates this would cause electricity rates in our state to go up 30%. This is a concrete example of where the federal government is wildly out of bounds. So we have to really stop and push back on the federal government as hard as we can.
So how do you do that? I mean, realistically, it sounds good in an interview and a campaign speech, but let's say you're elected state senator of Virginia. How do you stop that as a state senator? What do you do differently that's not being done now? And can you be specific as you can?
I'll be as specific as I can. Of course, the federal government is overreaching on a whole array of fronts. So, for example, in this EPA Clean Power Plan, what they're depending upon is the states to self-impose, okay? They are trying to coerce the states to come up with their own plan. But the threat is if the states don't come up with a plan, that the federal government will impose one. But what we can do in Virginia is to say we're not going to cooperate. We're not going to fund any cooperation by any public servant of the Commonwealth. We're not going to spend any money cooperating with that plan. And we're going to speak out very forcefully that it's unconstitutional. So we can punch back. We do not have to cooperate. If we get a couple of states, along with Virginia, that say, we're not doing this, okay, and we dare the federal government to come in, really, to come into Virginia and to take over our energy infrastructure, I dare you. It's not going to happen, and we will force the federal government to expose itself as a tyrannical power if, in fact, they even try to do something like that. And look what we're talking about, John. We're talking about a 30% increase in electricity rates, and that may be a conservative estimate. Think about everybody's livelihood on this, who's listening to this show, about their own rates going up 30%. You know any seniors on fixed incomes? It's cruel to seniors, but it's cruel to every Virginian. And think of the businesses who are going to have 30% increase in electricity rates. And think of that rippling through the economy. This is a really big deal.